Well, happy Saturday, everybody, and welcome to another episode of On the River Rats Poker Weekly Webcast. I'm your host, Kevin, and this here is episode 30. And we're going to celebrate episode 30 by moving all of this to our new home. That's YouTube. So, welcome. I'm happy to be here. It's great. You know, what is On the River? Well, that's where we highlight you guys, and that's a great thing. Why not showcase you to the world now, not just our Facebook page? So I'm happy to be here. Hope you're happy to be here. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel and let's spread that word. So episode 30, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to recap what took place in week 7. We're going to take a look at what's happening in next week in week 8. We're going to answer a couple player questions. And of course, we're going to throw you a bonus chip question for this week. So I'm happy to be here. I am a little under the weather, so please bear with me. But you know what? I really enjoy doing these things for and with you guys. So I'm here. Even a little cold, I'm a little stuffy and all that fun stuff, but you know what? We're going to do it. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what happened in week 7. Kicking things off up at Route 28, we had 14 players, and there's a look at your top 3 from that night. Taking down the field, there she is, Miss Jody Pollock herself. Great job there. That tournament was actually a lot of fun. Monday night, these are our Veer members. They had 17 players in their online game. There's your top 3. 2 familiar names there. Michael Berkey taking down that event, actually stopping Jimmy G from getting 3 in a row. So congratulations there, Mike. Tuesday night up at Soma's, 26 players took to the tables. There's your top 3. And look at this, it's Wooju Juice himself, Mr. Craig Greger, taking down that event. So it's nice to see you in the winner's circle there, Craig. Wednesday up at Woodpeckers, 11 players that night, and there's a look at your top 3. And Mr. Scott LaLiberty himself taking down that event. So it's good to see Scott back in that winner's circle again as well. Wrapping up our week down at Mike's, we had 15 players. There's your top 3 there. Couple familiar names again. Wreck-It Ralph himself, Terry Davis, taking down that event. Now, of course, this was a Snowman qualifier week. So let's take a look and see, because it was our kickoff for the Snowman Challenge qualifiers. And here's a list of everybody that qualified this week. And if you take a look there, Diane, Jody, and Mike, they have multiple top 3s this week. So congratulations. Everybody that was on the list, you made it into the event. So your first top 3 gets you in. Anything after that, up to 5. So you can win a total of 6 top 3s. First one gets you in the event. The remaining 5 earn you bonus chips. What's it earn you? A 500 bonus chip per top 3. So, you can potentially add 2,500 to your starting stack in that event. So, and like I said, we had multiple winners there, Jody, Diane, and Mike. Congratulations, and what do? Well, they're Veer members. So they actually had a few other events. Now, each of them actually only qualified through the Veer program one time. The other wins came at live venues. So, again, there's another perk, excuse me. I'm thinking of the question coming up with Berkshire. There's another perk for being a Veer member. So we have 2 player questions that I'm going to do this week. I didn't want to make it as long as it was last week. So 2 questions. Yes, one's coming from Mr. Berkshire, and the first one's going to come from Jason. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at his question.
About 2 years ago, 40 or so of us met down at the casino, played in the $50 card tournament, kind of spent the day together, and had a hell of a great time. Any chance of doing that again?
any chance of doing that again? Jason, this is a great question. I actually had a lot of fun when we did that. So, and oh, wow, that was a while ago. We were actually Steel City Poker at that point. But we kind of rattled the poker room, and the managers and everybody. They were scrambling to find dealers and everything because they weren't expecting that many people for that event. And I mean, that was awesome. Jody, who was mentioned there, her and I actually made it to the final table, which was it was just a lot of fun. Now, to get back to your question, yes, I would love to do that again. And if you guys would like to do that again, let's figure something out. The only setback to that is Sundays, they've kind of changed their schedule. They actually added a turbo event on Sundays and pushed back the start time to that $50 buy-in tournament. And my hold up with that is that it would kind of run into our Sunday event that we have that evening. So because the $50 buy-in tournament starts a little bit later in the afternoon than what it usually did. Now, Mondays, they run the exact same event at 7:15. This is down at the Rivers Casino, just to give them a little shout out. It's a $50 buy-in with a $5 add-on at a dealer add-on at the table. If we could, if people want to do this, let's do it. I'm down with that. Let's figure out and organize a day that we can go down. Probably give the poker room a little heads up just so they understand what's happening and can be staffed. I've actually played in a Monday night where they didn't have enough dealers and they actually had players on a waiting list, and I don't want to do that. So, because if you're going down, you want to get into the action as much as possible. So, great question. Yes, let's organize that and let's get another one together. So now let's go ahead and let's take a look at a question from Mr. Bill Berkshire. You guys know him as Dirty Jesus. And I really like this question. So let's take a look.
All right. Conventional wisdom says if you flop a set, you got to check that. When do you go against conventional wisdom and bet?
All right. For those of you that don't know, Dirty Jesus is a math teacher. So, of course, he's running all this stuff in his head, numbers and percentages and things of that nature. And he is correct. Conventional wisdom does say that if you flop a set, that you check. Now, my answer to the question is, when do you go against conventional wisdom? Well, my answer is it depends. There's a lot of factors that go into this. You flopped a set, according to Bill. Okay, did you have the pair in your hand, or did you have one in your hand and there's two on the board? So that would be one scenario that I'm going to look at. So, if you have a pair in your hand, the odds of flopping a set are actually 12%. So, and that's what, every player should know that number. All right, if I have a pair, all right, I have 12% odds of flopping a set. So if you have the two pair in your hand, yeah, there's nothing wrong with checking, but if you only have one card in your hand and the pair's on the board, that one you got to play a little bit different, because there's no saying that somebody else didn't smack it or, have a chance for, a full boat or something of that nature. And, like I said, my answer was depends. Well, let's look at it. What's it depend on? Well, your position, the number of players in the hand, your chip stack. But the biggest reason for not checking or not betting or checking here is there a flush draw or a straight draw possibility on that flop? That's something that you want to look at. Obviously, a straight or a flush is going to crush you, or, are you in a position where you can? Yeah, let's just check it. There's many factors. That's why I say depends. Yes, 90% of the time you do want to check that down. So just, to get a feeler. And then if you have, somebody bets into you, you have that option then to re-raise and capitalize on that. So I would just look at those factors, that are going to determine what you do. But again, about 90% of the time, probably even a little bit higher, go 95% of the time, you are going to check that. But with those other factors, the biggest one being where the two hole cards a pair, and yes, you hit your set with one of the cards on the flop. So, all right, Bill, thanks for the question. I hope that answers it for you. Hope that gives you exactly what you were looking at there. So, all right. Last week, I did a lot of questions. They were long-winded as far as the answers. This week, didn't want to do that. Kind of just want to slow it down a little bit. 40 minutes was long for a little bit of a podcast here. So if we can keep it to about 20, 25 minutes each week, I'm definitely happy with that. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what's coming up here in week 8. All of our tournaments, it's just a normal nightly tournament, guys. You're earning points for your venue and season championship, as well as your big spender and your Rats Race Players Championship event. So, big announcement here. We're at our new home, so there will be a link in the description for you to go ahead and subscribe to our channel. This is where we're moving everything. I'm kind of liking it. So, make sure you subscribe to stay informed. All our events, guys, bonus chips, arrive 30 minutes early, wear your logo gear, answer the question that's coming up, bring a new player, respond to the question. That's how you get bonus chips. These guys here get a bonus chip at every nightly event they play. Like I said, that extra perk, those extra qualifiers. You want to become a Veer member, donate $25 to Project Livestream. And that's what this is. Project Livestream, our goal is 765, and then we can get all that technology and start live streaming all of our main and final events, guys. And as always, our Spend 10 initiative, while you're out enjoying free social poker at our venues, let's support them by getting something to eat and drink while we're playing poker with our friends. That's how we keep it alive. And of course, what you spend goes towards your big spender free roll total. So you want to make sure you capitalize on that. Every $10 earns you a point. 15 points get you into that event. So that's where we stand with what's coming up in week 8, guys. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get into this question. It's actually inspired by what Bill said. I really enjoyed Bill's question there. Makes you think. So, and that's kind of what we do. So let's go ahead and take a look at this week's bonus question, guys. Gonna need you to put your thinking caps on. Bill's a math teacher, so why not go math here? As always, you're gonna give us your answer in the comments to this post, and for that, I'm gonna give you 500 in bonus chips to use at any one nightly event that you play this week. So here's the stage. We have 2 players. Both have pocket pairs. Although it's quite unlikely, this scenario is not that uncommon, that you're in a heads-up match with somebody that has another pocket pair. And there's the flop. You both hit your set on the flop. So here's your question. If 2 players have pocket pairs, both will make a set on the flop roughly once every blank flops. Blank flops. How many flops is it going to take for us to see both players hit a set? So, and I'll tell you what, I'll be nice. I'll give you a little hint. It's 1%. So now you have your percentage. Now you just need to figure out the answer. So, and again, although it's unlikely, it isn't that uncommon that happens. So that is going to be my show. I'm actually going to go ahead and take some medicine and enjoy the rest of my evening. Guys, I appreciate you spending your Saturday evening with me for a few minutes. I really, really do enjoy doing these things. So outside of that, I wish everybody a great rest of their evening, and I hope to see you at the tables this week. So thanks again.